you're moving big, heavy stuff on the river. So talk to us about the barges, how big they are, how many you can connect to at a time, what they're carrying, and it's and you're not. By the way, you're not. We use the word tug, but you're actually pushing them, right?
Most people in this industry, we all call them push boats. Um, I think technically they're considered a tugboat through the Coast Guard. Think if you look at harbor tugs, and I did that, that was part of my career as well when I worked at College Towing. Is we did ship assist docking where we docked ships. That would be, most people in the marine industry and the inland industry would call those harbor tugs. So you have harbor tugs, you have push boats, which is what I'm on, which is just any boat with a square bow instead of a mono bow, like a harbor tug would have. It has a square bow and it's made to face up on barges and push those.
Yeah. So tell us about the barges.
So each barge, they have changed over the years too. When I first got into the industry, we would occasionally push these small barges called lash barges, which were just a pain. They were no good because they didn't really match up with the other barges that we had. And then we had a regulation hopper barge that was a 195, so 195 feet long, 35 feet wide. And then they started building 200 feet hopper barges. The locks did not like that at all because the locks are only 600 feet long. So if you have three 200 foot hopper barges, it doesn't give a lot of room. You're talking inches as far as how you're fitting inside the lock chamber. And they're very particular about that because of damage being done to their gates. So that was, now the standard is 200 feet. So years ago, 15, 20 years ago, a lock would not let you even lock through with a 600-foot cut. Now that's just standard. That's just what we lock through. They're just used to it. And we've, kind of did some things to mitigate those dangers and make it safe.
Does Marquette own the barges as well as the push boats, or are the barges
Yes,
somebody else?
Marquette has, don't hold me to this number, but approximately 800 barges that they own and operate. So yeah, that's one big benefit of Marquette in the industry wise is it makes them very, I guess, for a customer that's looking at Marquette,
It's like
it
a
makes it a
package. It's like
package
a
deal
package deal.
and makes everything flow a little smoother. Getting barges point A to point B, getting mainly product, moving product.
So is it then a pretty competitive business? It sounds like there are tug companies or push boat companies appropriately that don't have barges. You guys have a barge, but overall it probably is a pretty small community, even if it's competitive, right?
Our companies are all have, most of them all have their own barge fleets. Um, they, I know it's competitive on the sales side. So we don't get involved in that too much out here other than
Yeah.
we like to kind of know what's going on. Um, just because it's, Marquette. I mean, it's a very, I like to just consider it as a family company. It's a large company now. It was a lot smaller than when I hired on, but it really has a family feeling to it. So the captains out on the boats and the crews like to have a little knowledge of that, but that competitive side of it mainly is in the sales, and just like any companies would compete to move products. As far as we go out here, I think there's some competitiveness, but it's very small. I think everybody works together as an industry to keep things moving. And that's one really amazing thing about what we do is you have all these different companies, but we're all colleagues and we all feel that way. We're all merchant mariners. So and we work together.